folks. Today we're going to go over the 2 to 6 player game Bosk by Floodgate Games. So I'm going to go over the gameplay here in a second, and then we'll come back and you'll get my final thoughts. Thanks. This is Bosk. In Bosk, you're going to give this first player token to the first player, and in the first round they're going to go around. You're going to set out your trees. And these cool trees. So I'm going to put them. You put them in the columns and rows, and you put them between the lines here. So I'm going to put some here, and let's say I put this guy here, and we put this guy here, and put this guy here. And basically what's going to happen after this first round, because this game is a round of, it is going to have 2 parts. And in the first part, after you place all your trees out, you're going to take each row and each column and see who has the highest numbers on them. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to take the number on the top. And your trees, you got between 1 and 4, and you have 2 copies of each. And whoever has the highest numeric value in a row or column is going to get 2 points, and the second player is going to get 1. After you add all those points up, the person with the least amount of points on this score track is going to be the first player. So you're going to hand this to them, and then they're going to get this wind tracker. And they're going to pick which side of the board they want to put it on. So let's say we put it on this side of the board here. Okay, I'm going to take my little wind marker, and that is the way the wind's going to blow. So the wind's going to actually blow this way. And what that means is on my turn, if you notice it has these little numbers on the side here. So that number means, 1 means I have to take off a 1 tree. So on this board it would be, let's say it's my turn, I would take off this guy because he's the number 1. So before I take them off, I'm going to look through these leaf tiles. And these leaf tiles have different numbers on them. And they go 1 through, well, technically it's 2 through 8. And then you have a squirrel tile. So that's sort of acting like you're 1. And you only get to use these once. So you're going to have 8 turns because you have 8 trees. And I'm going to pick one. So let's say I pick the 5. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that one. So that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to collect 5 leaves. And then I'm going to place the leaves on the board. So I can place it in the direction of wind. So I can pick here or here of the side of the tree. So let's say I pick here. Then I can pick here, here, or here because the wind's blowing this way. So let's pick here. Then I'll pick here. Then I'll pick here. Then I'll pick here. And then I'll remove this tree from the game. So your other opponents are going to do the same thing, and you're going to have a whole bunch of leaves out on the board. And what that matters is at the end of the round, so let's say we have these out here. At the end of the round, we're going to look at each of these different regions. And in each of these different regions, we're going to see who has the most leaves. And whoever has the most leaves in, let's say, this region here, is going to get 5 points. So in this example, red gets 5 points and orange gets 3. If you are the only one with leaves in a region or an area, you'll get 8 points, so you get all the points. And so you can see there's a lot more points at the end of the game. But one of the really cool things in this one too is that you can play the squirrel leaf, and if you play the squirrel leaf, you get to play with this little cool squirrel. And what that's going to do is between up to 3 spaces away from the tree in the direction of the wind, you can place the squirrel. And let's say I did have a tree like right around here. I could place the squirrel on top of an opponent's leaf, and what that means is I just basically claimed that area. A couple other things to keep in mind though, and why that's so cool, is that if you need to cover over an opponent's leaf, so let's say I want to cover over this leaf right here, and I have 5 leaves, I have to take one of my leaves and discard it to place over top of the opponent's leaf. Now if they had more leaves on there, and mine wasn't on top because it's free to cover your own leaf, I would have to spend more of my leaf token, so I would go even less farther in there. But no matter how high the stack is, you can put the squirrel on top, which makes the squirrel a really cool mechanism in the game, because that might determine whether you actually get a region or not. So that's basically the game overview. There's 2 portions of it. What'll happen, one thing I didn't mention, is when you do play your leaves for the round, whoever played the lowest number leaf is now the first player. So in the second round, the player really rotates a lot in the game. I do like Bosk. Bosk is a good game. It's a nice abstract. You have to think a lot in the first game of where you're going to put those trees down, because not only does it matter for scoring the columns and rows, but also it matters for like placing the leaves in the second round. So you have to think a lot about where your trees are going to be to the area control portion, because it's 5 points for first, 3 points for second. It's a lot of points, but you can't necessarily forget about the first portion where you score on the columns and rows, because that adds up a lot too. So there's a lot to think about it. It's a nice abstract-y puzzle. If you like abstract games, it is a beautiful one. It is a great abstract. It's straightforward in the rules. It's pretty simple to learn and teach. So I would highly recommend it if you do like abstract games. Thanks for watching.